Welcome to the Friday nights. I'm Jason Sandberg, fellas. I had a fantastic week. I lost a lot of money on a particular meme coin, but that's another story. I was digging through my short boxes and I found this beauty, and I'm looking forward to
Nice.
rereading this. I don't have very many of these old Gold Key comics. I got some Doctor Solar, and I've got a few of these. The artwork, I forget how beautiful the artwork is. It's just absolutely amazing. Looking forward to revisiting this story. Might pick up a few more when I do some bin diving as I travel. And then I also found this one. This is a JMD Mateus vampire story. It was originally published by Epic Comic in the 80s as some like deluxe premiere square-bound comics. I think there were like two of them. Then they reprinted it at DC Vertigo as a miniseries. I'm like, it's a good spooky story. I should have pulled that out in October and read it then, but I'm gonna revisit that and see if it holds up. And as always, I am hard at work on Jupiter issue 2. Jupiter issue 1 is in demand on Find My Comic and Indiegogo. This past since around Thanksgiving, I picked up about 6-7 backers. So I crossed the $9,700 mark on the way to that magical 10K. And I'm going to continue to work on issue 2, and I'll be sharing some artwork with you all in the new year. And then issue 2 will be launching Q2 or Q3 of next year. So again, I'm maintaining my momentum, enjoying the post-election euphoria. It has not worn off. Life is good. Craig, how was your week?
I had a great week as well. I mean, the snow's finally down. I kind of like it when winter's finally here. Speaking of Jupiter, I'm going to pull Jupiter up your campaign, Jason, because you're
Thank
like you're what $300 away from 10,000. Is that right?
Yep, $300 away from that magical five-figure 10K mark. Looking forward to
Nice.
crossing that. Crossing that.
So let's just pull this up right here. All right, so everyone can see, and then it's got that funny Canadian money there, and then you're like,
Man, I actually moved to Canada. I'd be like rich.
yeah. So here it is actually. So 9,000. So again, so you're $284 from hitting the magic 5 figures.
Nice.
So,
John, I was on John's Lombok this week, and he backed it. And then after his show the next day, I got another backer. I assume it was one of his viewers, and he also has some great praise passed along from Mike Barron. John got to interview Mike Barron recently, and so John is he's on a roll. He's had so many great guests, but John warms my heart to hear that Mike sends his regards. That is fantastic. But thank you for shining a light on my little campaign, Craig.
yeah, I mean, like I'm just sifting through it here at the beginning, but again, as everyone can see, and again, just going to go through. It's $13, and how much do you ship domestic?
$5 United States shipping and handling, $5, and I ship the next day, so it's quick.
Nice.
So there you go, $18, everyone. That's
40 pages. Would you rather spend $5 a piece for 2 or 3 crappy Marvel DC comics that are terrible, or would you rather spend $18 and get a 40-page full color labor of love delivered directly to your mailbox?
there you go. And is there still any? What are the add-ons? What can they still expect?
So everybody who backs automatically gets the two the 2 stretch goals. They get the Legion of Memers official license to meme.
Nice.
And then they get the Captain Kleinbottle fan. They get the Captain Kleinbottle fan club membership card. And as a reminder, the dates on the card run backward in time because Captain Kleinbottle is a time traveler. On the back of the card is a very important reminder that Captain Kleinbottle wants you to have on hand at all times. The message is that if you're not part of the problem, you are the solution. You are, in fact, the solution. And then I've got the license to meme. Things are getting crazy. I mean, thank goodness that Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Yes.
Those other platforms, I can't tell you how dangerous it is to be on those platforms. China, Russia, very dangerous. If you're trying to tell jokes about people in authority, if you're trying to speak your opinions, if you're trying to meme, it's very dangerous. You need to make sure you have an official Legion of Memers license to meme. And you get it by backing Jupiter. It comes free with the book.
Yeah, it's like a MasterCard. Don't leave home without it.
Do not leave home without it. It's like swimming naked, because meme police, meme checkpoints, you need to have your license to meme.
My goodness. Well, I can't wait not only for Jupiter, I can't wait for Saturn, and I certainly can't wait for Sandberg's Uranus book project. I'm sure that'll be interesting. Sandberg Publishing. He publishes Sandberg Starship to Uranus.
That's on my OnlyFans channel, Ryan.
Whoa. Beyond the Uranus, heading to Neptune.
It exists. We've heard it here live. Jason has an OnlyFans, so it's now lore. It's canon.
Well, that's my specialty, folks. Concept art.
This week I got Heroic Tales #1.
Nice.
I just want to show that off. Since we have John in the audience, I figured I'd be like, yes, I have it. I have not read it yet because I have been
roboting. That's what
under
he's
the
been
weather.
doing.
So yeah, I don't know.
Aaron, you know what you need?
So
you know what you need, Aaron?
Wish me luck. Also, update on my campaign. It's at the printer, and the printer is got it in queue to print out. I'm waiting for some proofs, pictures and whatnot. So it is in production. And yes, please wish me as much luck as you possibly can. What's up, John? And so that's it for me. I'm roboting like crazy again. We're gonna say it's my RAM. I don't know. That's also in production to be fixed. I'm waiting on the proper RAM cards, so we'll see what happens. So,
Aaron, you know what you need, right?
Robot fighter. You bastard! I love it.
So Ryan's joining us tonight. Thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us here on the Friday nights. Is there anything you want to touch on or share regarding this past week?
Well, things have been going good for me. I'm not a comic creator, folks. The best I can do is speak my mind on topics of the day. There's a storm outside, and in my part of the world, 90-mile-an-hour winds are enough to tear buildings out of their foundations. It's Wales, folks. We don't have much going for us. But my name is Ryan Roger Athay. I'm the host and founder of a show called Reality Based, and I aim to spread the reality-based mindset. I said concept art is my forte. The concept part is not art. I'm not an artist, but concepts. So you've got Jason Sandberg, who is Sheryl Sandberg's brother. You've got the Jupiter Project. I can't wait for the Saturn Project, the Titan Project, unless someone's nicked that. The Uranus Project will be exciting. And then beyond Uranus, heading to Neptune. That would be interesting as well. So I'm a concept guy. I come up with ideas and topics, and if those ideas are chucked away by other people, I just nick them, because let's face it, if you're chucking away something, well, it's up for grabs. You've got Sheryl Sandberg's brother, you've got Chuck Dixon's son, and then you've got Mr. Robot. Okay, folks, we're going to have a fantastic talk. And as for me, I don't consider myself to be talented. I just showcase the talent. In this day and age, you've got to build an audience first to resonate with people, then release your passion project. Unfortunately, in this day and age, talent does not rise to the top. Being not only yourself, but showcasing yourself to the best of your abilities, that's what helps you get to the top, unfortunately, especially for the more talented folks out there.
Ryan, you know who's really good at showcasing himself?
Oh,
our buddy Hojo. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Hojo. He was in the chat, did a drive-by. He's probably watching another show right now. Go back to Mythicals and check out the Mystery Machine.
We've got to get Hojo on Reality Base. We've got to get all these fine folks and fellow creators on. Whether it's Aaron Beck, get a Sandberg on. You know, that's a good name, Sandberg.
Absolutely.
And we've got to get Chuck Dixon's son on as well, because that's one hell of a great background. Sorry, you just look like him. You look like a younger version of him.
Oh, I'll take that compliment any day for sure.
And Ryan, with all your connections over on the other side of the pond, do you know anybody who's into crypto and NFTs?
No.
Okay. Because Craig's going to do a soul tag. Craig's going to do a soul tag NFT. We're trying to get him connected with somebody that can make that happen. So as you network with people, if you come across somebody who's got that skill set, that certain set of skills, help out our buddy here, because this soul tag NFT is going to blow the lid off of everything.
No, soul tag coin, and then pull the rug. That's what you do.
What about Soul Coin? That way you can sell it.
There you go. All right, it has been a crazy week, Craig. What is our first topic? Oh no, I forgot the chat. The chat.
That's right. All right. Yeah. So first, that's all right. First and foremost, Vulcan's back joining us. He says, "Good evening, gentlemen, and good evening to you as well, Vulcan. Thank you for returning."
He's still smarting from having watched the Tyson fight, and he will forever regret standing us up to watch the Tyson fight.
So here's Ryan's handle as well. We're going to talk about his YouTube channel. We're going to feature that after we do the topics. But if you can, it's linked to the top of this chat. If you'd like to just head on over to his YouTube and subscribe, much appreciated. And Jackknife here. I
only have one part of my fringe now. Back then it was 2. Now it's only 1.
Jackknife pulling out the jackknife. It says Vulcan who?
Vulcan D's.
So is that seriously where Bitcoin's at now? Is 100,000?
I don't know.
Yeah, it'll most likely stop at 120.
Yeah, it recently passed the $100,000 milestone, and the more people support it, the more people have confidence in it. The higher its rate, and the less people have confidence in it, and the less it'll go. The more people buy into it, the higher. It's like the stock market. That's all cryptocurrency is, folks. And the more trust people have in it, the more valuable it is.
Yes, but just think, in all of our lifetimes, it was like what, $50? You could have all bought a Bitcoin for like.
Yeah. Oh, when
rubbing it, man. Stop rubbing it.
When Peter Griffin made the joke of, Lois said, "How do we get out of our financial debts?" And Peter said, "Bitcoin." That was back in 2013 when it was very, very cheap. And now he's right. So watch Family Guy and listen to what Peter Griffin says.
Well, potentially 13 million a coin in the future. So we'll see.
Yeah. I'm just regretting. Hey, one of those there's so many life opportunities have come and missed, and I failed to grab them.
I could tell by the very long silence.
Yeah, the sigh. Yeah.
John Slombox joined us. Says, "Hey, hello to you as well, John." And
never too late.
It's nice to see your comic book out in the world, which means once my socialized postal service stops their strike, hopefully I'll have more comic books show up at my door. But and then John mentions he just backed Jupiter, I'm guessing. Yes.
Do some dancing.
Yeah.
Break the tension.
Yeah, see some titties.
Oh no. We do need more female creators, though, even if most of their assets are in their chests. But please carry on.
And I think this is Vulcan's way of saying you're already carrying our show as our guest, so dude's already on fire.
Oh, thank you.
No.
I try my best to tango with the best of them. Usually, it's about a massive panel of people, and everyone's struggling to fight to speak their minds. But it's nice to be on a show with passionate comic creators who are trying their best to showcase their projects in the content creator world. Unfortunately, it's not the same thing, which is a damn shame, because these guys are all talented. I do my best to just speak my mind, and if the money flows, it's completely voluntary. I'm the kind of guy who can sustain a budget of 0 for near enough the rest of my days. At a stretch, I can maintain my current budget and have for the past 3 years. But you guys are professionals. You need investment in to get quality out. For me, it's quantity. It's I call it machine gun content creation. Not like a sniper. Aim for a great video that goes viral. Is just and just hope something hits the targets.
Yep. No,
That's
absolutely.
me.
Yeah, I've got like 300 videos, I think, on my YouTube, and 2 of them have crossed the 15,000 view mark out of 300 videos. So it does happen from time to time, but yeah.
Well, Ryan,
But,
I do believe it was one of your national treasures, Winston Churchill, who said that quantity has a quality all its own.
Yes, great quote, especially when the communists were getting massacred. Please carry on.
Yeah, my ex-girlfriend said that too.
Ooh.
Just kidding. I could help it.
All right. Should I pull up our topics for this evening?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
All right.
Timestamp. Can't help. Oh dear.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
first and foremost, this one comes from Unilad. Elon Musk.
Unilad, is
SpaceX-
he in the Legion of Superheroes?
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Elon Musk's SpaceX wins $843 million contract to destroy the International Space Station. So this was actually, I'm not gonna say it was a Hail Mary, but like they already had a plan with the Russians,
Mhm.
but Russia's at war with Ukraine, so that
Mhm.
kind of fell apart. So you're thinking, oh my goodness, he's gonna have to, like, how much science and designing and stuff's gonna go into this. And Elon's like, no, this one's shit simple for him. He's just going to take that Dragon spacecraft that he already has. And he's going to add more thrust and more fuel so that it can do a lot more maneuvering. And away it goes. That's $1 billion in his pocket.
Yep.
So,
I mean, from my perspective, you look at Elon, you look at a man who's officially, he's not actually, but he's officially the richest man in the world. And this contract is a great opportunity for him to actually look at how the International Space Station has stood the test of time for quite a few decades. Because I seriously think that man's ambition is to build a space station of his own, to, of course, land on Mars, settle on Mars. Got that Starlink absolutely everywhere, all over the Earth. I could see Starlink on the moon, Starlink on Mars. And it's a way of connecting everything together. And I think this plan to bring the ISS down is a way of getting his foot in the door to know how everything works and how, because if you know how to bring it down, you know how to make one to go up and stand the test of time. And it'll be his, or at least privately controlled, instead of a international venture that prohibits any kind of space expansion, because, well, you can't claim the moon. No nation can claim the moon. No nation can claim Mars. If they could, they'd all be going there by now. But what if a private citizen claimed the moon or Mars? There's no rules in the international legal system for a person.
Have you read
claim.
Stranger in a Strange Land? There's a little bit of that in there with, was it Michael Valentine? He's the first citizen of Mars, and he basically claims Mars at the UN and all that stuff. Yeah, go back and reread Stranger in a Strange Land. Not everybody liked it, but it had some good parts.
So, Stranger Land, written by Robert Heinlein. In that story, some colonizers from Earth go to Mars, and they start a colony. Everybody dies out except for the first child born on Mars, which is that Michael Valentine. So that is a great story to reread. It holds up. The other Heinlein story that's apropos is The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. In that novel, there's a colony, several colonies on Mars that are basically doing mining. And what they do is they'll mine, they'll get iron ore and stuff like that, and they'll put it in these containers, and they'll basically send it down to Earth with thrusters, and like the cargo will land. they declare their independence and they just start throwing rocks at the earth.
Yeah.
And it's a great
Right.
novel. I recommend them both.
Damn.
So question, is he going to use his Dragon rocket? Is he going to engage with the space station and then push it away?
Yeah.
Okay. So
the Dragon spacecraft, they're already docked. They already do dock with the ISS.
Yeah.
So when those two astronauts were trapped,
Yep.
that was the contingency plan, was the Dragon spacecraft. So he's already has a Dragon capsule. But in order to achieve this, I think they're going to build a bigger one. So they're just going to add additional fuel and thrusters so it can do a sustained burn. But no, it'll dock with the space station. All they have to do is direct its reentry and just make sure it's staying, that it's going to crash into the ocean, and just keep, making adjustments as they go.
Okay, so I was thinking he's going to take the $843 million. He's going to bring his rocket up, engage with it, and then he's going to keep going and just take it to Mars, and he'll have a Martian International Space Station, and he'll be like, "Thanks, suckers."
Yeah.
It's a very interesting idea to go the other way, but I'm of the view that this is more to do with politics than it is to do with science. Because, of course, the International Space Station is an international project, mostly led by the United States and the Russian Federation. In fact, space, after the moon landing, if you believe that's real, that's subject to debate. But under the premise that it happened, folks, from the 70s onwards, the United States and the USSR, now the Russian Federation, were a lot more cooperative in space. And it did lead to quite a few achievements. But now, given US-Russia relations, and they're unlikely to improve within our lifetimes, unfortunately, folks, this space station, which has been a massive project, it's undeniable, the work that's gone into the ISS, it is now going to come crashing down to Earth. Now, on the plus side with Elon Musk is that I think, because this man he's not a wasteful man. He's not even a businessman, folks. He's an engineer, first and foremost. And I think one of his many plans, go to Mars, go to Moon, make spaceships, all those, he literally called it the Starship, that sort of thing. I think he wants to build a space station, or at the most ambitious, an artificial structure that makes the International Space Station look like a satellite, like a standard satellite. He's that kind of guy. He's in his early to mid 50s. I think he's 53 or 54. So he doesn't have much longer. I'd say 30, 40 years at most. But think about it. Your mind can only stay sharp for so long. So he doesn't have a lot of time.
He's got a plan. He's going to download his brain. But hey, guys, wouldn't it be super cool if I was Elon Musk, and once I grabbed the space station, I would bring it down right next to Neil deGrasse Tyson's house. I would park it right there, and then I'd be like,
yeah.
But so interesting. I looked into all the space stations that existed. So Russia's had a couple. They had Mir, and then they had the very first one. Currently, there's two in orbit right now. There's ISS, but China has one as well that's up right now. So once this one comes down, that one. But at some point, like you're saying, in the very near future, in the next 10 years, there's going to be about 9 of these space stations out there. Bezos is looking into they want to build basically a tourist space station that tourists can go up and spend time in space and come down. So definitely private citizens are moving in on this, making money. And I'm sure you've been watching the news too, how Bezos is now trying to get into the fold with Donald Trump. Mark Zuckerberg just visited Mar-a-Lago. So hey, everyone's rushing to Mar-a-Lago.
Even Justin Trudeau.
Yes.
That was a funny conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, Elon proved that the Orange Man is willing to engage with many different kinds of people, and he can be convinced if a solid enough argument is made. It's just, from my perspective, one of the great flaws of our part of the world is the short-termist mindset. It really is a weakness for our people, certainly in the West. And I know there's a lot of problems in the East, lack of freedom, lack of rights, lack of food in some cases. But one thing they have, their ace in the hole, is that they can really map out where they want to go into the future. And it really is developing at a really fast pace. And China is definitely a force to be reckoned with. They have a lot of problems, a heck of a lot of problems, namely their population problem. But I do believe when it comes to space, they want the red planet because it's red, obviously.
Right.
All right, Craig, what's our next topic?
Okay.
No, wait a minute. So if the Chinese colonized Mars first, that would be just like what was that cartoon with Fry? Remember that? And he had the girl whose family was descendants of Chinese who went to Mars and colonized it. Yeah. Futurama, thank you. Great show. I can't wait for Elon Musk to finally tell Steal the Bike Tyson, hey, guess what? We were able to recycle we're able to recycle rockets and do this efficiently, but also show everybody that we actually landed on the moon. So I mean, did we? I guess he'll be able to solve it in 4K HD, as the kids say. So I'm excited for that.
Awesome.
There's a lot in that. I'm sorry.
No, it's perfect. So next topic comes from UPI. Zoo discovers their 10-year-old King Penguin Maggie is actually Magnus. So they had these penguins together, and they noticed some unusual breeding that the penguin was trying to do to the other penguin named Frank. And then when they realized that Maggie's actually a dude. So as a result, they've now got another penguin coming from Germany to replace, because in spite of what we say, 2 male penguins will not make more penguins.
I mean, dude's hard up. I get it. I'm not gonna fault him. I get it.
It's strange. It's strange how in nature they know it's wrong, but through society and human culture, it's perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. Ryan, what does this say about the zoologist there? I mean, it's like they had one job, and it's to figure out I mean, really, who needs to be fired over this?
Well, there's nothing wrong with gay penguins.
No, I'm talking. I am talking about the zoologist. Somebody this bird was 10 years old. Somebody when it hatched said male, female. Okay, I know what this is, and he got that. He got it wrong.
Then he was transferred, so somebody bought him or whatever, moved him, and then the biologist, the veterinarian who examined him, did not say, "Oh wait, it doesn't have a vagina, it has a penis," and then nobody said that. That's really
2016. They had him in breeding, so that's 8 years it took them to figure it out.
8 years. I mean, I know they all wear tuxedos.
He's like, I don't like this.
I know they all wear tuxedos. So
that's a crazy. That's a crazy thing about penguins, because of course birds, avians, but this is the consequence of DEI hiring, folks. You try to put 2 male penguins together, gay penguins, and of course biological reality is going to hit you like a freight train. I put it very simply as a title: Zoo Penguin is a tranny, as zoo mistakes gender of penguin. It's very simple, folks.
Yeah.
This is a mistake, an error that needs to be held accountable. It's easy to laugh it off, as it were, but it seems we can realize the error from a human perspective looking at penguins, but we don't make the same correlation with our own species, because if you say that, it's controversial, and of course controversy will ignite all sorts of backlash. But we can say it if it's happening to penguins. Very interesting.
Now, do you suppose that the veterinarian was fired? Like, how does that work?
No,
or did he get another grant?
There's so many hoops you have to jump through to fire anybody nowadays. It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So I think we need to contact the Pulitzer board, because I think we have here an example of this is going to win the Pulitzer Prize for understatement of the year. Guys, this is what she said. Discovering that Magnus is actually a male and his gender differs from what we initially believe presents another unique hurdle in our efforts to establish a successful breeding program here in the United Kingdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You think?
Sounds about right.
Maybe this is why the panda population doesn't grow. They just want them to be gay.
Well, is the solution just to shave them from the waist down so you can see for sure?
Well,
I'm sorry.
avians.
Wait. Hit the break. Okay. First of all, pandas are genetically modified and created by the Chinese elite. So that's why they can't survive in the wild. That's why they don't procreate. Is because they can't even defend themselves. They're not even bears. So
well, a more
sorry,
controversial way of
pandas aren't real.
A more controversial way of putting it, folks, is that pandas prove that black and white can't mix together. But see,
Roger, let's say a giraffe.
Ryan.
Let's say you're Roger. Ryan. Let's say you're Ryan. Let's say you're a
you can try saying my last name, but no one seems to get that right.
RRA. Let's imagine you're a zoologist in the United Kingdom, because you've got the accent. And the giraffe starts choking. How do you give a giraffe the Heimlich maneuver?
It's very simple. You electrocute it.
Oh shit! We'll cough anything up.
So, Mad Ruth, is the solution just to use like Nair and just lather up every one of these animals from the waist down, so there's no fur, there's no feathers to hide the jewels?
Well, I think the issue is just doing your due diligence, because the biggest thing with this is they looked at the size of the bird instead of the size of the bird's anatomy, and they determined it was a male based on.
Wait, are we measuring penguin dicks? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's a strange thing with avians. Unlike mammals, they lay eggs, so their sex process is a bit different. I mean, penguins, and I've seen this happen with my own eyes. Penguins from a young
That's a
age
weird.
constantly...
I don't want to see your browsing history, dude.
Look, I'm just making it clear that penguins are constantly weighed and measured to make sure that they're growing in proportion to a standard rate. The fact that this wasn't caught a lot sooner should be a damning indictment of what's wrong with the particular zoologist, because it's not as if one person does this. It's a whole team of people, and it just goes to show that there needs to be a general review, and this has got to be nailed down, because if this keeps happening, it's going to be over to protect different species.
I guarantee none of them will be fired.
That just made me cough.
All right, Aaron. Oh, he's back. He's back.
Yeah.
Boo. Yeah. He's back.
Everybody started sounding like Robo-Bears from Thundercats, and then I was gone. So, all right, I'm back.
All right. What's the next topic, sir?
Yeah. So our third and final topic for this evening comes to us from Associated Press. Think brain rot summed up 2024. Oxford agrees it was the word of the year. Okay, so it shouldn't be word of the year. It should be term of the year. Brain rot is 2 words. Associated Press.
Good point.
That showcases how much brain rot has infected the world.
Ryan, we did not pick all these UK stories just to pick on you. This is all happenstance, we promise.
Yeah, it's all right.
So, Craig, what does brain rot even mean?
So essentially, they're blaming this on media. So this is a ploy at saying that we're too consumed with consuming our phones and what's being fed to us. And the first picture there is him watching that gymnastic thing that went down, the breakdance thing on the Olympics, and just reality TV and keeping up with the Kardashians. And basically, they're saying the dumbing down of society, where we've lowered the standard for mathematics. we don't really talk about history, geography. We're just going to wipe out any of these things, and we're just going to make it up as we go along. And trust the media; they've done their due diligence. Even if they're rewriting history, they know the truth, basically. So,
I mean, it comes down to personal ability of discernment, right? Like, can you discern things like what is true, what is false, what is eating your time, what is valuable, moderation, these discipline, these things apply. And yeah, I mean, brain rot is true because most people, first of all, are not taught these things. Second of all, don't think to, cultivate in themselves as it is. So I agree. Yeah, brain rot, but it's not new. It's been going on for a long time. Society's just catching up with the terms. That's all. So I've watched brain rot since 2016.
So here's my one question when it comes to politicians. I'm going to stick this one in. Do you think they want us dumb because we're easier, or do you think they cater to the dumb because the population has become dumb? Like
both. They want you to be as dumb as possible.
Can I just say, your rulers will not teach you how to outsmart them. It's kind of how that goes.
So and Ryan, when they fail to outsmart you, they just import people they can outsmart and then use them like guns. Orcs from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, so Ryan, the guns.
Ryan, I differ to some degree from my co-host here because I have a simultaneously optimistic classical liberal bent. I still have a very tragic view of human nature. It's human nature as a constant. When I look back over this, the past 40 centuries, I think that there's probably as many stupid people now as there were before. However, we just have their stupidity is more readily available via social media or what have you. And I think that creates a prominence bias where people like Aaron and Craig, who are smart guys, they feel the pain and angst of witnessing the brain rot. And my take is the brain rot's always been there. The goal of the wise man is to insulate himself from the stupidity of others. Ryan, where do you land?
Well, it's all about value, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, in the 20th century, the mindset that dominated was the cream of the crop rises to the top. And
I never eat a pig because a pig is a cop. Sorry.
Oh my. That's something I'll have to write down. My goodness. I'm always looking for new material. But in this day and age, that
revisit House of Pain.
Yes, that's a rap song. You just threw in some of the lyrics.
Yeah. But from my perspective, people don't value talent anymore. Why? Technology. That's why, especially the technology that's being released over the past few years, and the way it's going, talent will be replicated.
You mean AI?
And you won't.
You're talking about AI.
That's artificial intelligence is taking over art, and it'll make films.
Its procedurally generated element is the most dangerous aspect of it, because if it's convincing enough, you won't be able to tell the difference. And it's not just with creative projects; it's with every single thing you see on a screen, including this article, including this show, including models of our faces and voices. What I believe the thing that people value most in this century is authenticity, and from that, the unique aspect of an individual or a thing. It doesn't matter if it's smart, doesn't matter if it's stupid, as long as it's unique and authentic and resonates with people. That is the cream of the crop that rises to the top. That's why some of the most prominent creators we see, some of them are fantastic people who are very smart, very sharp. Others are damn right evil, and their cohorts are predatory. And that's not just with creators, that's also with creator-based corporations as well, because people and ultimately advertisers who want to sell things are seeing more and more that the most unique, authentic product, whether it's a person or a thing that can be bought, is the thing that resonates with the most people. So the idea that brain rot is the 2024 Oxford Word of the Year is a perfect mirror for my for my argument, because first of all, brain rot is not a word; it's a term, and that creates a bootstrap feedback loop, just justifying the entire decision.
So
Yeah,
brain
good
rot.
rhetoric.
So brain rot won, but let's take a look at one of the other words that were some of the other words that were runners up. Our crack team of investigative reporters put together a little slideshow for us to review here. All right. So Oxford settled on brain rot. Let's look at what the other new words were, shall we? All right.
Ooh.
All right. The first word is cromulent. And where I've heard that word used is like in the foodies. The foodies talking about it. Ryan, have you heard anyone using this slang, cromulent?
Is that like a mix of Cromwell and corpulent? I mean, what the fuck?
Aaron, have you come across this term?
I have not, but it seems like a Conan the Barbarian term, so I like
I
it.
think you're right.
I was thinking of making a book called Crom-like. How do you think that would?
Crom-like. There you go.
Yeah.
And have 4 pages of solid black. Okay.
All right.
Let's see what is cromulent.
Yes.
All right. I think Aaron got it. Aaron got it. So next time,
let's open up our enemies. You know what I mean?
next time, Craig. Next time you come home from shopping, and your wife says, "Craig, how angry are you?" You say, "I'm cromulent."
Yeah, I just talk with a mouthful of marbles.
Yeah. All right. What's the next word here? All right. Blur's Day. Blur's Day. Ryan, have you heard anybody say use the term Blur's Day?
No.
Aaron, have you heard? Go ahead.
I will say that there was a British boy band called Blur. They were really for the posh fuckers. The idea of a Blur's Day would never work because it was so astroturfed. Mm-hmm. It would be like if Kamala Harris had her own day. My goodness. When's Halloween again? Can be the day after.
Aaron, have you heard the phrase Blur's Day be used before?
Other than like Ryan suggested with Kamala's like, or is it Kamala? Is it Kamala? I don't know how to.
It's drowning in a ditch while drunk.
When she was like giving her farewell speech, it was like 20 seconds long, and I could have swore she was drunker than me on our Friday night kind of show. I was like, no way, it's totally a Blur's Day, and I like that.
I think you guys are on.
It's day drinking.
I think you guys are on to something. Craig, next slide.
Oh yeah.
You're dead right.
Camel toe Harris, right. Ladies and gentlemen. Her neck looks like a vagina.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So so you guys are tuned in. You guys are tuned into the zeitgeist. You guys, you don't even need Oxford to tell you what these words mean. You guys are living it. You are tapped directly into the collective consciousness.
This show is literally a gold mine. Like a lot of politicians when running for elections would do good to tune into this show.
Absolutely,
I agree.
And now that Tulsi Gabbard is, or hopefully will become, Director of National Intelligence. How about we put Camel Toe on a no-fly list?
There you go.
Yeah, right.
All right. What's the next word, Craig? Okay, greedflation. Ryan, I don't know how stable the pound is, but are they throwing around the term greedflation over there?
Not from my perspective, but a lot of people want Starmageddon to come to an end. I've never seen a British government go from everywhere to nowhere so quickly. It hasn't even been a year. It's literally 6 months. 10% into, is it 10%? Yeah, I think it is. 10% into an administration. Yeah. And it's going nuts, man.
I'm not a violent man, but he has a very punchable face, Mr. Two-Tier Cure.
Yeah. And it's a 3-horse race now. We haven't had that in the UK since the late 2000s. That was back when the Liberals were really doing well, and then they sold out with the Conservatives. Hopefully history won't repeat with Reform. I just want to see an election where no one wins and we don't have a government.
Yeah.
And try that for a year or two.
Ryan,
Where's
I
that-
have to go across the hall and grab
sound
something. I'll
Irish.
be right back.
Sure.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So where's the feeling in Britain about people getting thrown in jail over Facebook posts and stuff? Like,
Oh, they
I
can't.
understand that
They can't.
they try to say it's inciting hatred and violence, and that's kind of where they're going. But it's a slippery slope.
Well, yeah, people can't stand it. Even his own supporters can't stand it. The point is, if you call it out publicly in the public domain, it will happen to you. So it's like this tense situation where we're now, and the polling in the UK is pretty accurate. It was pretty accurate when compared to the election. It's practically a 3-horse race between Labour left, the Conservatives, who are practically a centrist party, and Reform, which is the closest thing Britain has to a Conservative party. But under our political system, if they stay neck and neck around where they're at, no one will be able to form a government, and we won't have a government. Someone will have to work together. And if the Conservatives and Reform work together for a 5-year period, we will have Labour until the end of time.
Ryan, this is one of my favorite books. It's a encyclopedia.
Brownica?
It's encyclopedia.
It's a good job I said that properly. Oh, dear.
It's Encyclopedia Britannica. It's a collection of the American State Papers, the Declaration of Independence, the Federalist Papers, the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and John Stuart Mill's On Liberty. This book right here is one of my favorite books. When they started doing what they were doing in the United Kingdom this past summer, I took this book down off my bookshelf. I held it for a moment and I said, John Stuart Mill, I know you're up there looking at what's happening in the United Kingdom, and I know you're weeping up in heaven. Eventually things will turn around, but this is an extremely dark time. So Ryan, I don't know exactly what you're up against day to day, but from your American cousins over here, we share a common shared heritage of liberty, classical liberalism. I hope things turn around over there.
Well, I live
Have you
in
considered a constitution? Like, have you considered that at all?
Well, ours is unwritten, which is just an excuse for the authorities to do whatever they want.
You guys did the Magna Carta, which was like, the first step of a constitution. Have you maybe it's like, you know what, guys, let's reconsider the Constitution and maybe do one of our own. I don't know.
Well, the thing about Wales, which is the part of the UK that I live in, we've had devolution for as long as I've been alive, since 1999. And we've always elected a left-wing Labour government, because in the 1980s, Wales was completely decimated by a conservative government, state-owned industries, mostly in, hardcore industrial labor, came crashing down under conservative rule. And as a result, Wales has been left ever since. They were never great supporters of the right, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Reform have been doing very well in Wales because they're essentially conservatives, but without the bad reputation. And that resonates a lot more with people.
Consider this. Everyone who is a part of Trump's, dynamic team, all Democrats. Only now,
former
considered Republican.
Former kicked out of the party for just being too center left. Yeah.
But
exactly,
in my opinion, that's like the Republican Party was mostly destroyed under Obama after Bush's reign and all that other shit, and everybody got it. And libertarian, the more libertarian kind of conservatism came up through the Republican Party, but like a lot of the libertarian views are liberal socially, and so a lot of the Democrats are like, oh wait, the Democrat Party itself is a corrupt cartel. Let's kind of siphon off to the Republicans. And I thought it was funny because you'll see like 4 or 5 of them standing together, and they're all Democrats, former Democrats. And it's just, it's really crazy. It's like,
well, it adds more credence to the theory of the party switch as an idea. It's always been something that from yeah, from an outsider's perspective, when I heard of the idea of the party shift or the party switch, which has happened in the US a few times, I thought to myself that doesn't make any sense at all. But we've seen another example of it. I mean, for me, it's always about how can you bring libertarians, conservatives, and nationalists together? I mean, personal liberty, conservative values, and nation first. Those three together can hang together. Well, yes, it can be done not only in the United States, it can be done bare minimum across the entire Western world, because each idea on its own can't really execute itself well, especially the libertarian one, because you know how libertarians are like. On their own, they're fantastic. Together, they're killing each other. Conservatives don't have the creativity to get anything done, and nationalists have the zeal and the fervor. But if you don't look like them, sound like them, and act like them, well, fuck you. So that's why we've got to try and bring these three factions.
I do like the people around me. I do like them wearing the stars and stripes. So it's true. If you don't look like me,
yeah. Craig, up there in Canada, do they throw on the term greedflation? Do you ever hear that when you're walking down the street?
Well, yeah, so yes, absolutely, because that's what's happened. We're not stupid. We know what happened during the lockdown period. All the governments printed billions of dollars, and then all of a sudden you got more dollars chasing fewer goods, and everything doubled in price. And then they blamed it on greedy corporations and climate change and everything else, while trying to tell us ignore the fact that these politicians printed billions of dollars out of thin air. And then their excuse is, but those other countries aren't doing as bad as we're doing better than all the other countries, so we're just on par with everyone else. But you all did it at the same time. So
that is economically sound, and that's very plausible. But I don't think that's what greedflation means. Can we see what greedflation is?
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, greedflation is when you think the greedo shot first.
Okay,
that's greedflation.
I was there. He did, in fact, shoot first. I saw that.
That's one ugly fucking alien, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everybody knows
like rubber.
Greedo did not shoot first. Han shot first.
So I wasn't like Greedo. I wasn't
disavow.
Even close. Yeah.
Disavow.
Yep.
All right, let's see the next slide. All right. Chorebot. Ryan, have you heard anybody use the term chorebot? Do you know what it is?
No, but that sounds like a good name for a robo-slave.
Aaron, what do you think?
It sounds like the name of my sex bot. Yeah, I like it. Come here, chorebot. Oh, I got him. That's the one.
I did, guys. I did see a clip on Twitter this week, and I don't know if it was from a movie or a spoof, but in the skit, the wife opens the door and there's like this. It's obviously a real woman, but she goes to the husband. I got you this for your anniversary, and he's like, "What?" And he is pretending to be offended and like aghast at the idea, whatever. And she's like, "Well, no, I mean just for when I'm out of town or I'm on the period, having the period, whatever." So then he reluctantly apparently uses it, and then cut scene, they're hanging out like washing the dishes or whatever. He's like, "I'm really glad you convinced me to use that sex bot thing." And she's like, "Oh, great. I think it's gonna be great for our marriage." And then they're getting into bed, and he goes, "Sorry, honey, the sex bot wore me out."
And I thought the strangest thing about that, because I've seen an example of that too, is that they were black.
Yes.
How are they together?
Okay. So
right.
I bookmarked this. I bookmarked the clip. I'm going to give it to Craig to play during an outro. The next time we do talk about sex bots. Craig, have you heard the term chorebot?
The term chorebot, no, but the Twitter clip, yes, I saw the wife, the husband, and putting the wife and the sex bot together because
it's
they
like,
both
what? Are you sure?
look the same.
Crack me up. All right, well, let's see what chorebot really means. All right, chorebot is when a Hollywood studio is making a sci-fi movie and they stick a disinterested, dislikable actress in the movie for marketing reasons. That's what a chore bot is.
Yeah, she's doing a chore for sure.
Yep.
Is this just another Democrat way of saying slave?
I think she's getting paid.
Servant.
I think she's getting paid, but it makes watching it work for us. All right, what's the next one?
This isn't the
If
one
you're
that's
white,
ruining.
they call him indentured servant.
What's the one that Disney right now is spending billions trying to repair the damage, like a Wizard of Oz?
Snow White
is that what it is?
Yeah.
Absolute financial disaster.
Oh, it's that whole thing is hilarious. Yeah, that we should talk about that at some point. But that whole thing is absolutely hilarious. It starts out with Peter Dinklage saying you can't put dwarfs in it, and then she's shooting off her mouth. It's just hilarious. Okay,
they're recutting scenes and everything, and then she's shooting off her mouth, and they're trying to repair the damage.
Love it.
Well, think about it. Think about it. You're the Walt Disney executives. You're in the boardroom, and you're like, we've got to get rid of this chick. Nobody likes her, and then like cut more scenes, and they're like, the movie's riddled with her. I mean, she's like in every scene. Like we can't. It's the movie's. Riddled. You don't understand. It's riddled with her. She's everywhere. She's Snow White.
Switch
the best Snow White remake. The best Snow White remake, other than the prawn one, would probably be the Rammstein video of was it Sona? So go watch. Go Google. Or YouTube Rammstein. And that's probably their best. That's probably the best version retelling of Snow White that I've seen. So sorry.
How do you save Snow White? Just switch the actresses. Have Jewish Superwoman be Snow White, and have the Palestinian ethnically beige globalist be the evil queen. Because we all know this film is just an allegory of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. You literally see in the trailer like a battle scene between the two.
Who are the dwarves?
Look,
in that analogy, who are the dwarves? Are the
Hamas
dwarves the UN?
children, human shields.
I mean, you look at the executive producers; it's all Steenberg and Silver. Yeah, so I'm sure. I bet you're right.
All right, our final near miss Oxford word of the year is chefy, and I think it has something to do with like foodies and being good in the kitchen. Ryan, have you heard anyone use this term?
No, but I have heard of the Shafi, which is a light tank, very effective during the end of World War II and at the beginning of the Korean War, but not Cheffy. No.
Nice. Look at Aaron, that. Have you heard anybody use that term?
No, not since I worked in a restaurant.
Okay, that checks out. Craig, have you heard anybody use this term?
No, I can't say I have. No.
What do you think it means?
Cheffy? Yeah. Again, I have to say it sounds like a culinary term. I agree with Aaron.
All right, let's see what it is.
Oh.
All right, so we will next December we will check back on this topic and see what the 2025 Oxford Word of the Year and runners up were. Thank you, everybody.
Does it sound similar to Heffy? Oh, Heffy.
When you're sitting in a Cheffy and you're feeding something heavy, we've got oranges for sale. I guess this one.
All right, we got 26 minutes until the gutter starts.
Terrible.
So now let's look at Ryan's channel.
Okay.
Ooh, I got to timestamp this. I'm being showcased by comic creators who are far more successful businessmen than I will ever be.
Whoa. Let's not throw around the successful word, okay? Let's not.
Hey, look, when you're getting thousands in donations, you're doing something right. You're clearly resonant. I know the product has to be made and shipped and all that, but when you're raking it in, that takes some effort, okay?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, and actually, so I just wanted to say that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on is because you spotlight people all the time, and
see, look, as soon as I get praised, the technology tries to grape us. There you go.
So
Maybe
did we
the
lose Ryan?
Sandberg person could promote me instead. Or
Ryan,
maybe Chuck Dixon over here.
Ryan, I've had the fun of being on a couple live streams with you where you were one of the co one of the co-panelists, and you never failed to crack me up. And you just have obviously there's a certain novelty because you're in one of those old countries. You're from one of those older countries, but you are you're very good at observational humor. You're very good at pointing out things that people miss, and then they see it and they can't not see it. That's kind of those are things that are in your toolbox. And I've oftentimes enjoyed watching you. I've enjoyed being on live streams with you because you keep us on our toes, and you are just naturally funny. Naturally funny.
I just hope you don't find the Alien versus Predator thumbnail because, yeah, I use euphemisms to describe sensitive conflicts, especially one in sand country. And yeah, I use there it is, the Alien versus Predator reference, folks. How I got away with doing that, I will never. Well, it's right there. It's right there. Oh my! But it just goes to show we always like to speak our mind on topics of the day. And I make videos, I make shows, and I make videos from said shows. I can make a lot more at the same time. It also helps me be on more shows. I don't have to use my voice as much, but I haven't been firing on all cylinders recently. And this is the new format of thumbnail making I've made. I thought bright colors for the words, a few nice pictures, and it'll resonate with people. I'm a quantity creator. I'm not a quality creator. The best quality I do is live shows. I dabbled in shorts for a little bit, and then I thought, nah.
Were they your shorts or somebody else's?
Just like my ex.
No. Oh my goodness! But I've had great talks with many fine folks and fellow creators over the years, from those just starting out to the most prominent. We've had blacks on the show. We've had women on the show. I think we've had cripples on the show, and we've had Jews on the show too. So that's 4 for 4, right there. Yeah, well, I got to say that I'm amazed that I've gained the support that I've gained. It is a surprise to be sure.
You know, you can broaden your horizons. If you have Aaron on your show, you can have a robot on your show.
Oh my!
Oh yeah.
But these these are examples of more recent thumbnails. That's me taking things to the next gear. But I'm a one-man band, guys. Everything I do on my own channel. I realize it's better to work smarter instead of harder. And so many people don't bother to make videos from their said shows, and that's why timestamps are very important, because videos and shows are not the same thing.
Absolutely.
Right.
I do like your thumbnail structure, because it really makes things it's good emphasis. I like it. With regards to recent current events, what's a video where you had a lot of fun making, or there's been a good response? What's a recent favorite?
Well, the recent favorites have been covering, you can see him right there, that fucker, the God of War creator, David Jaff. I call him Jaffa Cake, and I describe the whole controversy surrounding him as Jaffa Gate. This man who has the temerity to tango with the best of creators, like Hypnotic, like Vara Dark, like Smash JT, to name but a few, when his lane is in gaming creation as the founder of God of War. Now, as someone whose specialization is in knowing content creators, in what works, what doesn't work, what to do, what not to do, to see someone who clearly has no idea what he's doing entering that kind of arena, it was dead on arrival. I mean, stay in your lane. That's why I feel so sorry for comic creators, because they don't have that luxury. They can't stay in their lane. They have to resonate with people to get the audience necessary to promote their projects, because unfortunately talent is not enough. I am living proof that you don't need to be talented to make a name for yourself. I don't have big titties, don't have a nice fresh face. I know I'm only 25, but it's only going to get downhill from here. But his whole growth as a content creator came as a result of his legacy as the founder, or one of the founders at least, of the God of War franchise, the original trilogy, as it were. He ran for cover for Avowed's art director, who was attacking fans and gamers, and now he's being roasted on the fire, because we creators, ideally, we hang together.
Now, wait a second. You were kind of, being a little whatever, but you're also hung like a North African, so it's fine.
Oh my, no, I do not dare to be Muslim.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't blush, Craig. Don't blush.
But my most popular videos are actually older ones, because a great way I found, especially earlier on, was to resonate with people rather than topics. I mean, this channel wouldn't be possible without, and certainly Reality Base would never have came to be, if my thoughts on Tyrone Magnus was not shared by Tyrone Magnus himself. And another great boost I had in August of 2022 was when my thoughts on Psych2Go, America's largest mental health and awareness channel, was shared by them as well. And people have the temerity to call me racist. Without a black man, none of this would be possible, especially during the Speargate controversy that happened late October. Yes, that's when it was, of this year. So it was about 5 to 6 weeks ago. I called a black man's game company Spear Chucker Studios, only to find out, I didn't know, that his game had spear chucking in it. And they tried to cancel me. Took them 3 days to find me. Are you
saying that black people built your channel? Is that where we're getting at?
No, of course not, Aaron, because black people don't build anything. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, is that for 3 days, it took them 3 days to find out it was actually me who said it, which just goes to show how big their IQ is. They were going after Hypno. They were going after Grums. Grums was on the show. They were going after Smash JT. They were going after Will of the Fans. They were going after Sammy Threepeat. They were literally going after everyone else.
Process of
not
elimination.
me.
Right. The bigger names. Yeah.
And I made a statement, simply standing by what I said. And then finally, after 3 days, they finally come after me. And I stood by what I said, hang together instead of hang separately. And most people wonder, well, why is Ryan on Saturday Night Hypnosis? Because I tango with the best of them on there, and let's just say I fail more often than I succeed. The reason I'm there is because I'm the creator analyst. I'm the guy whose main job, for lack of a better term, is to read not the room, but the creators, and to understand their strengths, their weaknesses, that sort of thing. That's why it's very rare that anyone goes after me directly, because let's face it, folks, my role is to know everything about everyone. And it makes people uncomfortable when I say that I keep a record of every interaction I've ever made between content creators.
So how long they try to cancel you for before they gave up? Like, how long were they at? A couple days, a week?
Well, the whole controversy was about a week long, in between the prior episode of SNH and the one that happened after, where we had a great time.
So are you saying that you're like the NSA of indies? Is that what we're saying? You just
well, I try my best to be. It's because I want to know what works. I want to know what doesn't work. I can understand why people are uncomfortable with the mindset, but we do hold data protection at our highest value, because, well, trust is hard won and easily lost, especially among content and comic creators. But I value creators, their perspectives, their ways of doing things, and ideally take a piece of everyone and put it all together. The weakest link in Reality Based is the name in front of it. That's why I'm outsourcing everything. Outsourcing guest suggestions, outsourcing topics, My voice hasn't been doing very well recently, and I haven't been feeling well recently, but I'm still here. Thankfully, I'm not queer, and hopefully we can steer into 2025 as we keep on going and keep on growing.
Yeah, the ladies are grateful that you're not queer. Now, my question is when are you going to do merch?
Oh, as I said before, it might have been before we went live. I'm not a businessman. As soon as I step into that field, I'm sure everything. I
might have roboted.
No, yeah. It's now you are, but in all seriousness, one of the main reasons why I don't take the next step as a creator enterprise, because there are 3 levels of content creation. You've got the content creator, you've got creator enterprise, and then you've got creator-based corporations. I'd rather swallow a penny, Mr. Sandberg. That didn't sound very nice, but I said it anyway. And that's, from my perspective, the best thing to do is to just keep doing what I've already done. Because I use SNH, Saturday Night Hypnosis, as a great example. I'm the only regular on that panel who's not a professional. So I don't have merchandise. I'm not a creator enterprise from that perspective. One reason is it would make what I do a lot more difficult. And another reason would be every time I've tried to start a business, it has fundamentally failed. So on that note, as it were, I stick with what I'm doing, and it's a great way of bridging between the actual professional content creators, a lot of them I tango with on a daily, if not weekly basis, and connect them to those just starting out. That's my role, that's my niche, and hopefully I can showcase those who will be part of the next generation. And once they make a name for themselves and become established, become prominent, then they can showcase their projects. Because I will stand by this argument until the day I die. A meh project with hundreds of thousands of supporters will do far better and have a far better legacy than a great project that only thousands of people are exposed to. I'm sorry that's the way it is, unfortunately,
it is,
folks, but that is how things are measured in this day and age. And I'm sure we've got plenty of examples of that throughout the years as creators. It's not easy to become prominent. It's not easy to create a creator-based corporation. That's why character in creating a project is as important as the project itself.
So in this era where
if you make a career out of bitching about Disney, I'm pretty sure you can sell whatever you like.
So I was going to say, that's a big thing with corporations that exist, as well as big name IPs. So most of the big name IPs, you take Batman, Superman, or whatever it might be, the actual person who invented that IP, they never saw a cent of it. They died penniless and poor. Same thing with, like, you take McDonald's and all the other huge multi-billion-dollar corporations. The person actually made the very first restaurant or very first
Colonel Sanders.
Right. It's after the fact. And with those big corporations, those big names, it's not like once you make it big, it just sells itself. They still spend hundreds of millions of dollars every single year on advertising, on getting that brand in front of millions and millions of people. You can't just stop doing that at some point. Yeah. So yes, reach and amplification is everything. But you were going to say something, Jason?
Yeah, I'm going to say, Ryan, we're on a very dangerous precipice where corporations are going to try and commoditize authenticity. You are committed to really keeping it real.
Yes, hence the name, reality-based. And I personally believe, folks, whether we like to admit it or not, 20th century mindset should have died 24 years ago. It should have died the day I was born, in the middle of 1999, because what we are seeing is this tussle and the consequences of that tussle between one mindset that represents the old and a new mindset which many people are vying for. And wokeness as a disease, I don't see it as an ideology, it's a disease, is a possible road to the 21st century mindset. It's a sick, twisted, disgusting road, but at least it's a vision of the future. Where we are, we cannot remain, folks. corporations of today are like dinosaurs waiting for the meteor. It's just
Yeah.
the meteors that are hitting the planet are just not big enough. And that's why I personally believe that of all the creators, there is one out there who will be that meteor. You could argue Donald Trump is that, because an outsider, a creator in his own mind, a creator in his own might. There we go. And he's probably the embodiment of the 20th century mindset, but he knows it can't stay that way. That's why he's supporting folks like Elon Musk who want to take America into the future, into the 21st century, and create a better, brighter future for all Americans. And for me, it's very simple. As long as you stand by the principles of reality-based strength, intelligence, and courage, whether it's physical or psychological, then you can prevail, no matter who you are or how talented you are.
That's well said. I think that the Hegelian pendulum has got to find its new median, and I think that's in the process right now. So, like I was saying earlier, it's like the Republican Party was destroyed under Obama. It's swinging around trying to find its new ground, and it seems to be old Democrats who are going to fill in a lot of that, and I don't know. We'll see going forward. But
could you argue that
the new standard is being built.
Obama destroyed the Republican and Democrat Party? Because fast forward to now,
so I mean, I personally like that cartel that was ruling over the Clinton and Obama kind of thing. Yeah, it's destructing right now under Biden, whatever. But I think that Bush and Rumsfeld and all those guys were the old guard, the old neocons, right? And so the Republican Party itself has to find its new voice. That new voice was being stifled out until a braggadocious, good man, a man with good rhetoric came out and said, "No, I'll be the new Republican face." So I don't know where it's going to go from here, but
the very
interesting times.
Well, the very, I dare say, the most dangerous thing about the present day is that so much is happening so quickly that things will never settle ever again. They will only ever settle again when the bombs go off, the lights go out, and the world ends for all of humanity. It's like we've been driving at breakneck speed as a civilization for about 100 years, at least 100 years. It's a goddamn miracle we haven't crashed yet into into another car, into a tree, into a lamppost. How are we not?
I mean, there is a guiding elite, like Plato was like, the Republic and all that. Like there is a guiding elite that controls a lot of the course and direction of society. But like, for instance, in America, it's like, there is always that grassroots. I own a farm or a ranch and whatever. And so that does exist. Like, I don't know what that's going to look like going forward, but the whole, like, we're all going to come together with the League of Nations kind of shit that's been going on for the past 100 years. Is that going to survive? I'm not sure that it will. There's so many corrupt within that organization. I'm not sure that it will, but
was a great big storm in my part of the world, and I can tell you this: when times are changing rapidly and violently, just like a great big storm with so many winds blowing you from pillar to post, having strong foundations is so important, because even in the worst case scenario of the building collapsing, as long as the foundations that enabled its creation remain, then you have a future. That's why it's so important to highlight the problem, find solutions, and be the change that you want to see, folks. We're all like little water drops. Together, we form an ocean, and you never see water molecules killing each other now, do you?
Good words to end on. Those of you watching the replay, please go check out and subscribe to Ryan's channel. And I'm sure you're going to see Craig and Aaron as future guests on his show, doing interviews and all that kind of stuff.
Well, as Mr. Sandberg, I can't wait for his Uranus book.
That's right. That's coming up too. So I put the link in the chat for the gutter. The gutter is going to be starting a few minutes after this show starts. They are going to be talking about an image title that I'm actually a fan of. It's Monstrous. And I'm curious to see what Aldis's take is on it. It was a book that I read the first time. I read the first trade of Monstrous. Didn't move me. A year later, I picked it up, reread it, and suddenly I got hooked. So I'm curious to see what where him and JP fall on Monstrous. So check that out.
Nice.
Craig, your parting words for tonight. What do you got to say?
Other than we're coming near the end of 2024. It's an exciting future. I mean, I was on pins and needles watching that election that transpired. It was that first light at the end of the tunnel. I'm excited to see your country fixed. I'm excited to see my country fixed here shortly to follow. And let's just hope like a bunch of dominoes around the world. We kick this fucking green global socialist agenda, whatever the hell you want to call it, and return to some normalcy and some, like you said, a foundation of tenements.
New world order.
World. Yes.
Amen, brother. Yeah. Aaron, what's your parting thoughts for as we head into the weekend?
Guys, just be grateful, be thankful, and don't forget to hug your relatives, hug your family, and let's have a good weekend. Shit, let's relax. Let's have a good time. We're coming up to a crazy year, into the crazy year, and next year is going to be even more successful. So buckle up and let's have some fun.
Ryan, thank you for joining us, being the honorary fourth Friday night. We hope you come back and stick around. Craig always has the craziest outros. We never know what to expect. Craig, let her rip.
All right, everyone. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Good night.
NASA is planning to collaborate with SpaceX to develop a new vehicle specifically designed to safely deorbit the International Space Station, ISS, at the end of its operational life, expected around 2030. The vehicle, referred to as the United States Deorbit Vehicle, USDV, aims to ensure a controlled re-entry to minimize risks to populated areas. The current approach replaces an earlier strategy that considered using multiple Russian Progress spacecraft for deorbiting. The new spacecraft will offer more robust capabilities and redundancy to manage the critical deorbit burn. NASA has requested $180 million in its fiscal year 2024 budget to begin work on the USDV, with total cost potentially approaching $1 billion.
That actually happened. Of course it happened. I think this is a reflection of how, like...
I use she, her pronouns. I'm not sir. Yeah, like, it's like a knife in the heart. I did specifically ask ahead of time not to be called sir. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
It's just always like a knife. It always hurts every single time. I was wondering if there's a manager I could talk to about something that happened. Yeah, I was called sir.
Harvard University Press has named its top word or phrase of the year, and it's the term brain rot. They define it as the supposed deterioration of a person's mental or intellectual state, especially after consuming a lot of viral content. Use of brain rot in popular culture is up more than 200% this year. The president of Oxford Languages says it feels right in the ongoing cultural conversation on humanity and technology. The other words that were finalists as well were demure and slop, dynamic pricing, romanticy, and lore. Of course, Southern New England has no shortage of lore and legend.
We have 1,000 trillionaires in America.
What?
And what's happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay 8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, child care, elder care, making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Well, is there?
I just said no. I just answered. Go ahead.
Why doesn't President Biden just pardon him?
President, I've been very clear. The president's not going to pardon his son. It's still a no. It's still a no.
It will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no, and I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No. The president, I can speak for the president, and he said he would not pardon his son.
If you have
and I'm just going to leave it there.
Piece of crack cocaine, no bigger than this quarter that I'm holding in my hand, $1/4 of $1. We passed a law through the leadership of Senator Thurmond and myself and others, a law that says if you're caught with that, you go to jail for 5 years. You get no probation. You get nothing other than 5 years in jail. Judge doesn't have a choice. Under our forfeiture statutes, you can, the government can, take everything you own. Everything from your car to your house, your bank account, not merely what they confiscate in terms of the dollars from the transaction that you just got caught engaging in. They can take everything. I don't care why they become a sociopath. We have an obligation to cordon them off from the rest of society. They are in jail. Away from my mother, your husband, our families. So I want to ask, what made them do this? They must be taken off the street.
You are pardoned. You are pardoned. You had to tell me that?
There could be a laptop out there that was stolen from me.
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah,
that I was hacked. It could be that it was the...
I'm serious.
It was Russian
said, I
intelligence.
don't know, man.
It
You
could
didn't
be
have to
that
pardon
it
me. I
was
knew I was
stolen
pardoned.
from me.
At any rate.
A turkey for me, turkey for you. Let's eat turkey in a big brown shoe. Love to eat the turkey at the table. I once saw a movie with Betty Grable. Eat that turkey all night long. 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong. Turkey, turkey dee, turkey, turkey dap. I eat the turkey and I take a nap. Man, Thanksgiving is a special night. Jimmy Walker used to say dynamite. That's right. Turkey with the gravy and the cranberry. Can't believe the Mets traded that was strawberry. Turkey for you and a turkey for me. Can't believe Tyson gave the girl BD. A gobble, gobble dee, a gobble, gobble ducky. I used to go to camp at Lake Winnipesaukee. Turkey and sweet potato pie. Sammy Davis Jr. only had